Here's a quick demonstration on how to send a message directly to a user in Slack using Centro. In this example, when a lead owner is changed, I'm going to send a message to the new owner that's associated to that lead. So I'm going to go ahead and assign this to Hannah Demo, and we'll see that in just a few moments in Slack, I will receive a new message associated with that lead. Now, what that looks like in Salesforce, here you can see that new post, is what follows. So the first thing that's key here is in Centro, we shipped with a field on the user called Slack User ID. And this field can be populated several different ways. If the user authenticates using the My Salesforce setup in Slack, admins can also set that field using this admin user bulk map users functionality, which allows you to update that field using and matches on the email of the Salesforce user and the Slack user there. And then finally, you can obviously update it manually by editing and pasting that in, and you can get that information from each individual user on their profile, going to these three dots and going to copy member ID. So it's key that that is populated here. Now the flow in this example again is the lead flow, and it looks something like this. So let me actually make this. So here when my lead is updated and the owner ID starts with 005, which is a user, and the owner's ID is changed, that's when this is going to fire. Then I have a variable set here called the Slack owner ID, and this is just a text variable created here that we can then set. And what that is set to is the record owner to the Slack ID field on that user record. So you can see what that looks like here, and that's how you set that field. Now, one of the key pieces of this that's important if it's possible that you won't have all of those fields built is adding a decision to verify that that field is populated. So I'll just call it Slack owner is populated. And then in my outcome, I'll just say yes. And then I'll find my variable that I created here called Slack owner ID. And I'll set that to is null, is false. And that means that when it's populated, I want to go ahead and send that notification to the user. In this default outcome, I can hard code it to a channel or hard code it to myself so I know that that user needs to be populated. In the Centro Flow action here, you can see I'm just going to send the new lead to the owner. And in my location where I'm sending it, I'm going to turn on the variable and set it to that Slack owner ID variable we discussed before. I'm also using that same variable with additional syntax here to mention the user that I'm sending it to. So I'm sending them a new lead, and in this example, I'm sending the record block associated with that lead. Now, if I want to receive notifications when it fails or when that field is empty, I can go to my Centro actions and choose a Centro notification flow element, and I can just say Slack owner ID is empty. And then instead of using a variable, in this case, I'm just going to hard code it to myself here. And then I can get that notification when that happens. And I can even pass in the variable here and say missing Slack user ID. Send myself the record so that way I know who it's supposed to be and go from there. So that's a quick overview on how to send Slack messages with Centro directly to the user when the owner field is changed. And this can be used across a variety of use cases. Please reach out with any questions.